Right, like what do you say to that? That's it, nothing. You just shake your head. You're like, well, way to keep it.
That's what I would say. That would be my advice.
Sir? A little chilly. Just bundle up a little bit though. This is where real riders are at. Well, I certainly don't appreciate Acacia coming up and trying to talk us into being cold. But I think he meant well. He might be famous. Hey guys, how's it going? It is a chilly and windy Sunday morning here and headed to do a couple tire changes. My front tire ended up getting, well, it's got 13,250 on it now, and it's not dead, but I don't see any sense heading into the winter season with a marginal tire. So I'm going to go ahead and replace it. Maybe keep the old front as like a track tire possibly, because it's got some edge left. The sides are in good shape, and you know. Anyway, be all that as it may, I wanted to give a follow-up on my failure to obey video where I got the ticket for running a stop sign. And of course a lot of people are in there represented by counsel, and I understand, I guess, if you're in a pretty severe situation, there's some DUIs and stuff like that in there where maybe it makes sense to have an attorney. That's fine, you know, whatever, but they go first. And so I got a chance, I was sitting there to sort of watch how things went down and the judge's demeanor, and was able to pick up that the guy seemed like a pretty decent guy, and that he was trying to be fair. So that's good for defendants. So I was actually one of the first non-counsel people to go up there because I guess because my cop was just the first one to call up and they did all his cases. And his first two were no-shows, so I went and got up there and was like, Your Honor, I'd just like to know if I could get traffic school. And he said, well, you got to plea first. Guilty, not guilty, or no contest. And I thought about it for a second. I said, well, I guess no contest makes sense here. And he sort of smiled at that and then turned to the cop and was like, hey, do you have anything to add? And the cop actually said, no, Mr. Dennis was polite and professional, which is very generous. I was polite and I was professional. I did show some anger when he rolled his eyes at me, for sure, but maybe that was sort of his way of acknowledging that wasn't quite right. In any case, doesn't matter. Told the judge, okay, you know, the judge said, do you have anything to add, Mr. Dennis? I was like, oh, are you familiar with the intersection? And he said, oh, I'm quite familiar with it. And I said, well, I'm sure you are. I was like, here's what it looks like to me. You got there's two roads that come into that same road that I came in on, and they're both sort of protected intersections in that when the lights are red coming the other ways, there's no traffic on that street. Like, you can come up to it and tell when the light's red, you can just roll. And one of them has a yield sign and the other one doesn't. And so I said, I'd like for somebody here to explain the ethics and morality of that situation where you got two almost identical roads, one with a stop sign, one with a yield sign. Is this really about safety, or is it a revenue generation scam? And the judge kind of chuckled and he said, well, watch out, fellas, we got a philosopher in our midst. And I said, well, is that really so bad? And he said, no, it's not. He said, well, I can't comment on ethics or morality, or that's not what my job is here. My job is to determine the law and you know, I understand what you're saying. My problem is that if I grant you a not guilty verdict here, the next 10 people that are, you know, charged with the same offense at the same intersection, I have to grant that same sentence to. And I said, well, no, technically, Your Honor, you would only have to do that to the defendants that are able to come up and articulate their case as eloquently as I did. And he laughed, the cop laughed, and we all had a nice chuckle, and at that point I felt like my chances were good. Now, sure enough, the judge found some little-known failure to obey law that was a non-moving violation, which totally fair. All I wanted was traffic school, which would have been more expensive and cost me a day of my life I'd never get back. So this was actually cheaper, and all I had to do was write him a check, well, give him a payment of $35 off my credit card when I left the courthouse. So, happy ending. I still don't think it's right what they're doing there, and I wonder how many people in the county are getting sucked in by the scam and then just mail the ticket in, because they, you know, it's like an $85 ticket, which is one of those ticket amounts where you're like, well, you know, it's going to cost a day at work, and I'm lucky, like, if I'm out of work for a few hours, it is not an issue. You know, nobody questions me putting in my time, you know, so that's fine. But anyway, now I'm definitely getting into philosophy, which is not the point. The point is, Leonine Schiff gets the win. $35, fair price to pay, and no long-term damage to my driving record, which is really all I was interested in. I just don't want my insurance rates to go up, and I want my moving violations, if I'm going to get them, to be well spent for things on the bike. So anyway, and hopefully there's none of those. Like, I feel like I operate 90% of the time in a way where I'm not going to be racking up tickets. So anyway, but yeah, so that's it. That's the update on the failure to obey. Hope everybody's doing well, and get out and ride, guys, even when it's a little cold like this. You know, you can just bundle up, put on your liners underneath your gloves, another layer on, still can be a good ride. So until next time, see you around.